Welcome. Today's follow-along video is 20 minutes of hip mobility work. All you're gonna need for this is a foam roller and some open space. This follow-along or this hip mobility session is great for hockey players because it helps their hips, something they use all the time around the ice, so they go through that external and internal rotation every time they stride. This is also great for goaltenders because you guys gotta get down in those funky positions in your crease, butterflies, reverse VH, all those positions take huge demand on the hips, and so this mobility session will provide you with better strength so you can be better on the ice. First thing you want to do, you want to grab your roller. I use a travel roller. I find it's one of the best rollers on the market. We need to prepare our tissue, so we have to prepare our muscles for the mobility so we can get into greater ranges, and then we can apply greater strength to those ranges as well. So grabbing your roller, you're going to spend about 30 seconds per muscle group, rolling up and down, get up into that hip. Because today is a hip focus day, we want to spend more time into the hip, so we're thinking TFL, which is this muscle, the side of our hip, kind of where our pocket is. That's a big skating muscle. We want to get into these groins, hip flexors. These are also big skating muscles. So once again, about 30 seconds per side, staying on the one leg the whole time. Then we're going to get up into the glute. That is a big external muscle, or it's a big muscle that helps with that external rotation. So when we're striding out and striding back in, so especially on that stride out, that glute is working. So we have to make sure that it's ready for the mobility today. You can cross that leg up, get a little deeper into those hip external rotators. So once again, that TFL muscle, we're right up here by our pocket. It's a short little muscle, so just back and forth, pulsating side to side. Muscles are round, as we know, they're not flat, so we need to make sure we're hitting all aspects of that muscle. Yeah, this is something you should be doing once a week, in season, off season, pre-season. It doesn't matter. You want to make sure that you're functioning at your best, that your muscles are functioning at their best. If not, that's when injuries can start to creep in. That's when performance starts to go down. Think of it like maintaining a car. You go in, for your oil change, you fill it up with gas, you make sure there's good tire pressure, you don't neglect, right? You don't forget about those things. And then that car functions. Well, our body's the same. You do have to take care of it. Awesome. All right, so now that we're done, we can get rid of that roller. The first one we want to do is a 90-90 iso press. So we want to get into our 90-90 position, so that knee is right off of my hip, and then I want to create 90-degree angle from my shin and my thigh, and then also want to create 90 from my foot to my shin, same on the back. I can use my hands to help with my positioning because I don't want to be slouched down, and I want to try and get my chest in the same line as my front shin. From here, I'm going to squish the ground, so my front leg, I'm going to try and squish the ground with the outside of it as hard as I can, and with my back leg, it's the same thing. I'm trying to squish the ground as hard as I can. So I'm going to go 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. We're going to do this 5 times. Push in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Push in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Push in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And one more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Then we're going to rotate, get set up in the other side. You might find that one side's a little stiffer than the other, a little tighter, a little less mobility. For me, this is that side. So with my right leg in front, I just don't have quite the same mobility in this right hip. So I have to use my hands a little bit more. So again, I'm going to squish inside with that back leg, outside with that front leg, and relax. Relax like 2 seconds. Push in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Every time I'm pushing in and I'm relaxing, I'm trying to sit up in much better position, which allows me to get deeper into those hip external and internal rotators. And relax. And one more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Awesome. We're going to do 2 sets of this. So back to that first side. If you can, if you feel good, you can go without your hands on the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more on this side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And one more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you can see, this side is more manageable for me, so I can go without my hands. I'm gonna try and challenge myself. 5, as you can see, I can't get around, so I have to use this outside hand. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And one more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Awesome. So that's a strength exercise for those hips. As we strengthen the hip muscles and then relax them, we'll get better range for them. The next one is internal rotation, so that TFL muscle. This muscle is responsible for that stride coming back in underneath of us. So we're once again in our 990 position, and I'm gonna lift this back foot up off the ground with control and back down. So I'm gonna do 10 lifts. As I lift, I don't wanna shift my body, right? If I do this, it's really easy for me to get my foot up. I stay tall, and I wanna fight and use that hip muscle to 3 more here to lift my foot up. And one more. Awesome. Other side. So with this back leg here, knee stays in contact and it's foot up without shifting your body. And once again, you're gonna find one side is more manageable than the other. And so that side that is more challenging, you'd want to spend more time, right, getting a few more reps with that side to build that strength needed. So then we're equal on both sides. We want to try and create as much symmetry, so equalness on both sides as possible. Good, and then one more set. You'll find that this is work, right? Yeah, we're working on mobility. It is challenging for the body, right? You will start to get a little bit of a sweat because for us to be mobile, we have to have strength in that range. If we don't, if we just work on flexibility, so we just stretch all the time, great, we're gonna be able to, touch our toes better and, get deeper pigeons, that type of stuff. If we're not applying strength to those ranges, we'll lose it. That's why mobility with strength is so valuable, because you get the strength in that range of motion, which allows you to own it. So then you have it, and then you don't have to work on your mobility as frequently, right? Then you can stick to a schedule of having it in your training sessions, and then one day a week where you're really paying attention and isolating that mobility. If all you do is stretch, then you're gonna have to just continue to stretch and stretch and stretch, because you just get into a range, you don't put any strength there, and then you end up losing it. And then as I lift, I wanna hold that top position. So I wanna hold that end range just for like a second and a half. That way I know I'm owning it. I'm getting as much strength there as I can possibly get. If I just go up and down, I'm not developing any strength. I have to challenge that position. So I need to hold it for at least a second and a half. Let's just go one more here. Awesome. So the next one we're gonna do is a little bit more mobility-like. It's still strength. So we're staying in this 90-90 position still, really taxing our hips here. So from this position, this back leg, I'm gonna bring it up and around, tap my heels and back. So now that I've built some strength, this should be a little bit easier. And now I'm working on mobility, I'm working on range. As I go through this one, we're gonna do 7 times. Once again, I can use my hands, try not to shift my weight as much as possible. So I'm trying to stay as quiet with my upper body as I can be. Coming around, tap those heels, come back, try not to shift, right? It should be hard, right? If I'm out like this is super easy. I'm not getting into that hip. So I need to challenge myself, be honest with myself, making sure that I'm not cheating the movement just to do the movement. I gotta make sure that I'm developing better hip strength and hip mobility, and that is me being diligent with my positioning, making sure it's challenging as I go. And it is very challenging right now. Good, 2 sets of all this stuff. Good job. 3 more. Nice. Oh, I'm starting to get a sweat. Don't know about you guys. Nice and tall. Nice work. 3 more. Great job. All right. Next one. This is going to isolate our glute med. So that is a big stabilizing muscle that we need. It's a small muscle, however, it's a big stabilizer in our hip that helps us have a very efficient stride so that knee doesn't cave in on us. And then it also helps with striding out because we have to do some external rotation, like I said, and that glute med helps with that as well. So get set up. We're going to go hands under shoulders. We're going to get that leg out to the side. The body's default kind of cheat to this one is it wants to shift over as we lift. So I got to make sure that this hip and this knee doesn't move. And from here, I'm going to lift up with control and back down. So as I lift up and back down, I don't shift my body, and I control that top position. That's 3. We're going to do 7 as well. 4, 5, 6. One more. 7. So you should feel that lateral hip muscle really, really work. So don't worry about height. Focus on pulling up with your ankle bone, making sure that that glute med is doing the job. This side does not shift at all. Two more. Nice work. Back to the first side. So yeah, yes, this is strength. This is also providing better mobility because we have better strength in that hip, like I was saying. You also find if your stride is weak on the ice or your knees cave in, you don't have a very strong push. It's your glute med. So you have to build the strength in the glute med. 3 more. 7 here. Lock that core. Be nice and stable through the core as well. All right, that core is that stability that we need so then we can do those other actions like striding on the ice. 2 more. Good. So that's the strength and / mobility portion to this day. The last one that we're going to do, we're going to pair these two together. This is strictly mobility now. So now that we've applied all the strength, we've gotten better range in our hips. We want to push the envelope on how much more mobility we can get. So the first one, back to our 90-90 position. Here we're going to rotate through though. So I start in this 90-90 and I'm going to rotate my body, stand up nice and high, and then coming around. I'm going to do 10 of these. Making sure I sit nice and tall as I rotate around, not rushing. I'm pushing my feet hard into the ground as I go. You will find that you do move a little bit, so you might have to reset yourself. That's totally normal. And the key here is slow and controlled, and you want to be smooth with your movement. You don't want to be laggy with it. I believe we got 2 more to go. Good. So that's the first one. Then the second one we're going to do is a line hip, like internal rotator, column wiper. So feet are out to the side, head nice and flat, and just dropping that hip in, dropping that hip in. So as I drop that hip in, I don't want that opposite hip to move. I'm not trying to touch my leg to the ground and open up. I'm trying to lock the one hip, so I'm being independent between the two. Just nice and smooth. If you're feeling this in your knee as you go down, then play around with your foot positioning. You might have to put your foot further away from you, bring it closer, just adjust it so you feel it in the hip and not the knee. God, I believe that's 10. Then we're gonna go one more set of our rotation. So I'm here, nice and tall, rotating around, nice and smooth. All right, this is work. All right, everyone's so focused on strength training, which obviously has its place and is super valuable. If you're not building this very isolated strength in the hips, then all that big power strength you're developing with the barbells and dumbbells, you're not going to get the most out of it. So you have to tie into those deep stabilizing muscles. So that allows you to utilize your big strength that much more. Good, I believe we got one more per side. So this one's for 10. Awesome. And then one more set on the ground. Feet out and just letting the hips drop. This one is nice. Just let gravity kind of do its job. Let that leg fall in. You can push down a little bit more so you get a little bit more activation through the hip muscles. Getting a little bit greater range. One more per side here. Thank you so much for following along. I know my hips feel great. I know I'm also sweating a little bit. I hope you're sweating too. I would highly recommend you do this at least once a week. Incorporate some flexibility into this as well, like another day in your program. But I would follow along with this exact program once a week. See how much better your hips start to feel. See how much stronger you start to feel on the ice. And once again, this day is great for players because it helps with their stride. And this is great for goaltenders because it helps with their butterfly and their reverse VH and all those crazy positions goalies got to get into while they're in the net. So enjoy. Make sure you subscribe for more great videos to help you become the best hockey player possible.